Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the Operations Committee meeting for January the 10th, 2023 to order at this time and see if there's any declarations of pecuniary interest.
None known.
Thank you, Mayor Han. Our first delegation is Andrew Bolter and Diane George Bolter regarding the Boulevard tree policy. Yep, presenters.
I do have this and photographs I'd like to refer to. Thank you. So we're here to, as you said, to discuss or give input as to the tree planting policy for boulevard trees. And we've reviewed the memo that is in the agenda from staff to council dated December the 13th. And we have some photographs here, and I just wanted to walk you through the photographs first. First one was the inspiration that my wife had for planting a redbud tree on the boulevard. This is in Sarnia, in the corner of
Mackenzie and London Road.
Mackenzie and London Road. These are trees or boulevard trees planted by the city of Sarnia at that location. The next page, number 2, is the spot where we wanted the tree to be planted. You'll see there's our utility pole, and then there's a tree to the north of our property, and then it was in between those two. And there are 2 Norway maples on either side. So that's the location. Note this side of the street does not have the high voltage utility lines. It just has the low voltage line that just runs to our property. The next page just shows the canopy space between the 2 Norway maples. The next page shows the condition of the Norway maple to the north of us. We've been advised it's dying. It likely will have to be taken down by. We consulted with an urban arborist ourselves privately. That tree is on its last legs. Norway maples are notorious. They were a bad choice for municipalities. They're very susceptible to a fungus disease, and they don't have a long life, unfortunately, because they're beautiful trees. The next page, page 8, is another photograph of the Norway maple showing that the limbs have been considerably cut off on the south side of the tree. There's no canopy growth that way. That tree is dying, so it's never going to be competing, or a redbud would never compete with this tree. And the next picture shows the rot in one of the limbs that is overhanging the sidewalk, actually. I have some concerns about that. The next page is another one, the same tree. And then the last few pages are, this is the tree that was planted at Church Mariah, I guess. Is it Mara? Mara. That was one of the trees that was flagged by the manager, I guess, as a potential problem with utilities. You'll notice that it was planted. There is one overhead line that runs from the pole across the street to the house. It was planted close to a corner. The next page shows the location of that tree. And the next 2 pages really are that tree. And it is a small tree. And notice the boulevard is quite narrow there. The boulevard outside our house is much wider. So I'm going to refer to the memo. And what I did I kind of looked at the memo, and then wherever there was an issue we had with the contents of the memo, you'll see on the next page, there's a number that I highlighted in yellow, and the next page is our comments. It's like typical PDF comments page. So initially, the memo states that requests are accepted from residents and added to the request spreadsheet, and then information gets gathered about location, number of trees. No promises are made at that time, and the residents are advised their request has been added to the list, and they will be contacted about specifics in the fall, because obviously fall is the best time to plant trees. At that time, we were actually informed by the operations manager and I'm referring to my notes on the next page, there's a list of types of trees that are acceptable. And when my wife asked if redbud, Cercis canadensis, was on the list, she was informed it was. She was also advised the tree had to have a single trunk and not multiple branches from the lower trunk. The idea is the tree will grow high and then branch out, so it doesn't interfere with road or sidewalk. So the next step was we found out about, there are sometimes issues of sightline and sometimes road safety issues. And then we're told about the cost, and we agreed that we would, the tree we found, the only one with a single long stem, the redbud, was $340. So we agreed to pay the difference. The village apparently has a limit of 200, which is fair. We were happy to do that. The next page, page 2 of the memo. Final review. While waiting for locates to come through, a process that can take 2 weeks to over a month, Sipkins will visit all locations and confirm if the location is suitable for the type of tree requested, or if a different tree is needed, or if it's not suitable at a location at all. We just want to know when Sipkins did that, when they visited, and we'd like to see their report, but we can request that separately. On page 3, the operations manager, it says in the memo, identified there was limited room on the boulevard for any trees due to overhead power lines. Well, as I've stated in the photograph show, there's really no overhead power lines. There's that one low voltage power line to our house. And I've looked around the village, and it's quite common that those power lines actually go through trees. And I would submit it's not really an issue. There's no power lines on our side of the street. And then he advised my wife over the phone that planting a tree at the boulevard was not a great idea due to limited space and proximity and no utilities. Well, my wife doesn't recall that conversation ever taking place. And then the next paragraph, after some persistent debate, the operations manager agreed to reduce the request to 1 tree instead of 2. I question the characterization of persistent debate. I don't know what that means. It was a discussion about the possibility of getting approval for a redbud tree on the boulevard, and there was some back and forth with, okay, 1 tree or 2, and it was decided 1 tree would be fine. And then the next paragraph, okay, the other thing is the red maple bud tree. It's not a red maple bud tree. That's not the tree. It's a completely different tree. This tree is it's in the legume family, and it actually helps nitrogen fix in the ground. Its root system goes deep, and it's not like a silver maple or that sucks moisture out of the ground. So it's a completely different tree. It's not a maple tree at all. So that tree was never requested. It's a Carolinian species, and it's a very small tree. It's not like a silver. So then the operations manager states he was not aware of a conflict with neighbors regarding trees or anything else. And my comment to that is, how is that relevant to a decision to plant a tree? A conflict with a neighbor. Like, are you going to have in your policy that every time someone requests a boulevard tree, you're going to canvass the street much like you do with a variance or something like that? Are you going to send a letter out to every person on the street saying, this person wants a tree on their boulevard, what do you think about that? Because to be frank, I don't think it's really anybody's business what you do in terms of a request for a tree. If that's the policy, fine, so be it. But unless it's in the policy, it seems very unfair that a conflict with a neighbor would inform this decision. The locates were requested at all locations immediately, so as not to delay the process. Yeah. Oh yeah, Sipkins was advised 2 locations were flagged. and they needed to be looked at closely, and that is the Church Street location and the Moore Street location. And then locates were requested, all locations immediately, so as not to delay the process. We were informed on 3 occasions when we asked Sipkins when the locates would be done. And we were advised they were waiting for 2 homeowners to select their trees, and that they needed all 5 on the list to choose the tree before they would organize the locates to be done. The only reason for the delay in getting the look, and that this was the only reason, from our understanding, of any delay in getting locates done. So we don't understand that part of the memo.
And I waited in good faith.
Yeah.
For those locates to be done.
Yeah.
And called on a few occasions as well to say, have those other 2 families come in to identify the tree that they want. And I was told, no, we're still waiting on those 2 people. That was the only reason I was ever given for any delay until.
And then we were never told, as in the next bullet point, that, you know, the tree planting is contingent on Sipkin's approval. I understand that if you do a locate and you come across something, that makes sense, logical. There's a utility that in a certain way, or 2 utilities in a certain way, so if the tree can't be planted safely, I get that. But this, frankly, this location is no different from any other location where boulevard trees are planted. In fact, our neighbors to the south, who just did the bill 7 years ago, have planted 2 silver maples on the boulevard. They're in quite close proximity, and it's no different. The utilities are identical, really. The only difference might be the overhead wire. So I'm going to move on. So it seems to us that the only reason that we can see that this became an issue has become because a resident objected to the tree and started a campaign against the tree. But for that, I think there'd be a tree right now in front of our house. I think this council reacted to the submission prematurely. You didn't investigate, you didn't come and speak with us. And as a result, a decision was made. And I, with respect, think this memo is an attempt to justify a decision that was improperly made, not through the proper process. I regret that I'm saying that, but I just want the truth here. In fact, you know, at the end of that submission, you know, the mayor stated to the individual who was making the submissions that there would be no tree planting. It's almost like a decision was made at that point to us anyway. Maybe that wasn't the intent, but that's what's on the video. So the big, and so we're looking at the memo for, and the reasons Sipkins allegedly, and I believe that this is what they said. I'm not suggesting anyone's lying. I'm not suggesting there's any subterfuge. I'm just saying Sipkins' alleged reasons are that there's already 2 significantly large trees that are competing for space. It's our submission that they're not competing for space. Our urban arborist has said they're not, and in fact, one is dying. And a redbud does not compete in the way other trees compete.
Big shade and sun.
Yeah, they're very good in shade and they're very good in sun. And, so, and there is frankly sky space. We were told by the urban arborists that we know there's lots of sky space for redbud. The issue of the grass, it's not the case. The grass died in our view because of the trees. It's a lack of our lawn is fine. We have an in-ground sprinkler system. Our grass under the maple trees is perfectly healthy on our boulevard. The neighbors water less, and their grass is very dry. So that's our opinion on
In
that.
fact, we didn't water it all during the summer because of they had gone to their cottage, so they weren't there to water it. So that was quite dead, and ours was quite alive.
So when we disagreed that the planting of the redbud would reduce the life of existing trees, our urban arborist who we consulted viewed the location, said that would simply not be the case. And he was very surprised that it could be labeled a poor location. He said, this is not perfect, but it certainly should not be labeled a poor location. So we don't know how the poor location designation got. When we've driven around the town and looked at other plantings, it's very similar to other boulevard tree locations. And I've already mentioned the tree to the north is dying. And the recommendation that a limelight hydrangea be planted instead of a redbud. Our urban arborist scratched his head and said, what? He just didn't understand the logic of that. A hydrangea is a bush, low level. So why would that be a good location, for a boulevard
And
planting?
they're also block sight lines of people
Yeah.
pulling out of their driveways.
Yeah.
Uh,
Makes no sense to us. So, so we've talked about most things now. We don't think this is a poor location. We don't think that the communication strategy whereby you tell a property owner, yes, we'll go ahead, go pick your tree, go pick your stake. We'll wait for the locates to be done, but only if a problem comes up, then we will say no. I mean, we were not told that was the process. We don't believe there is really a problem with this site. We've had expert opinion that it's not, and we would like the matter reviewed. We feel that really this memorandum is in effect just an attempt to justify a decision that was made. And I understand how things happen in council meetings and how you hear submissions, and I get how advocacy works. I do it all the time. And I get how people lobby and I get how people campaign. But I'm just saying that to allow a decision to be made, and but for that person campaigning, I submit we would have a tree. And we're asking that you reconsider this. If you choose not to plant a tree there, so be it. We will just reconfigure our plans for our front yard, and we purchased the tree at Zipkins. And we've also will agree to pay for the cost, the city cost, to Zipkins of planting it on the boulevard. We believe that we need a very positive urban forestry process in this town. Other municipalities realize trees are crucial, especially with climate warming, to keep street temperatures low. We are going to naturalize our front yard. We're going to be doing that, and we'll plant the tree in our front yard, but we would, really request a reconsideration of this. Maybe get someone with the expertise. I know that Imran is a great guy, but he says he's not really a trained urban arborist. Zipkins, I have no idea what their qualifications are. They're a nursery, but we did consult with an urban arborist who works for a large municipality. He came to our house, he looked, and his recommendation to us was no, makes no sense.
And may I might add that we did this in good faith. And we did this in good faith with our neighbors as well when we dug 2 holes to plant 2 red buds on our property. We actually purchased the trees, but when our neighbors said, wait a minute, we considered that and we said, okay, we took the tree. I stopped the purchase of the trees and I got back my money back. And so I went through the whole process in good faith. I listened to Imran, I listened to Zipkins. I went in there several times during the year to talk to them. And, for whatever reason, I would always go and look at my red bud to see how it was doing. And then, whatever came up. And it was very disturbing to have. And so that what I did then, we decided that we asked the municipality to plant a red bud on our boulevard. Since we couldn't have it on our property for whatever reason, we wanted to look into the matter legality of it or whether there were bylaws that, would prevent us from doing so. So then we did, with the boulevard. And so then the boulevard then gets kiboshed. And is that the right word?
It's a
I
good
usually
word.
make
Yeah.
mistakes with the words. And so what I think would be really important to do in any kind of neighbor dispute is to hear both sides of the story. You only heard one, and we got I don't know, I don't want to say any other words, but we got chapped. We didn't get it. In fact, we were made to look like the villains. Our street had a petition go through it. How does you think that makes us feel within our community where we have lived since 2004? We raised a son there. He taught sailing at the yacht club. He taught Dave's kids sailing. We are part of a community. I have a business. You have lovely blinds that I help provide. This is our community, and we don't like to be shamed or othered or talked poorly about. And that's what has happened. So, I'm being absolutely sincere. We're good people. We just want to be good neighbors too. But it's up to, I think, sometimes in these conditions, situations where we need to be like parents looking after children who are supposedly, fighting, let there be we're both equal people that need to be heard. So now we have to come through this process to do that. And so we really appreciate your hearing us. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you. I just have comments and questions, and thank you for bringing it back to this committee. So I feel bad about how this all got handled, and the whole lack of a formal process is pretty much what got us where we are, and that's why we are trying to create this more formal process so that everyone is playing from the same playbook. It'd be great if we could do a do-over or have a mulligan and do it again, but that's not what's happened. We move forward on this. I personally learned a lot about process and how to handle the complaints, and your point is very valid of hearing both sides before we move forward. Imran's away today. Unfortunately, he's very sick, and so we can't get more from him.
I just want to say he's a great guy,
Yeah.
very professional,
Yeah.
and we've had fantastic, no issues with him,
Right.
just so you know.
Yeah.
He's a great
Yeah.
person.
Now, it's my understanding that council approved the staff recommendation of no tree. Is that correct, Jim?
That's correct.
So what should we be doing with this now?
Technically, follow the procedural bylaw, this presentation never should have been made.
Okay,
Because the decision was made at the December 13 meeting, you guys were notified of that meeting, and I never heard back from you.
Yeah, my dad was very sick then, we were just.
Hospitalized.
Yeah, I was in the hospital with him.
So to deal with it now, there needs to be a motion to reconsider it.
at council. So then, do you have any questions, Mary Ann, or comments? And we'll move to any type of recommendation.
No, I just, I don't want you to feel like that you were censored out. Like, so as a council, we hear from different sides. And in this case, when you talk about the process, well, no, we don't ask every neighbor if they want a tree, but all of a sudden you have, if you're presented with a petition that says 30 people on the street don't want that tree that we hear you're planting, then I think we needed to consider that.
Oh, no doubt you needed to consider that. but
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you need to
We don't
consider.
go
it.
and ask everybody, but in
No.
the course of this action, a petition came forward, then we needed to consider it.
I understand the petition came forward. My submission is it was based on incorrect information provided to our neighborhood.
And
Yeah. And
That
so,
may be
and you
true, I
acted
don't-
on that
yeah.
without, frankly, without coming to us. And no one came to us. No one came to us, not one counselor. We asked for meetings, we wrote letters requesting a meeting with Mr. Burns and yourself there.
and I responded, and
Yeah.
you didn't respond to me.
No, I did. And
I asked you if you wanted to come to the meeting. And
No, it was a meeting to discuss it, not a formal council.
And I
meeting.
said we would discuss it here, and then you didn't call them.
My understanding was going to be a private kind of meeting,
Then
like you always have with citizens at all times as politicians. Your the political side of things, not formality. It was a meeting, my understanding was we requested a meeting with you, and we asked that Mr. Grant attend too. And we did that actually. I know it was crazy time. It was during the elections as well. I get that. So I'm not casting aspersions in anywhere there.
I'm just saying, I
Yeah.
did, because I did. I
No, you
went
did
towards you
respond.
and said,
Yeah.
I didn't get an answer back
But we
on
never-
attending the meeting.
I did follow up letter
Okay.
to Mr. Burns. No, and I don't want to get into, like, we're all good people. I think what happened was the process went awry. And we're all learning as we go, and maybe we'll end up with a much better system for boulevard tree planting, and that's my goal. And I think the more trees we can have in this city, the better, and I will, actually part of an environmental group, will probably appear before council and lobby for that, so.
Well, the initial plans for our St. Clair Street redesign called
Yeah.
for additional numerous trees. So
Fabulous.
the consultants recommended it.
And the open house is set for 28th.
No,
No.
it's not set.
Okay, it's not
Okay.
set. It's in January,
We'll look out for that. That's great.
maybe at the
Yeah.
community hall.
And we find this city, this village is very progressive. You do great things. We love living here. Thank you. Have a good day. I might just stick around for 5 minutes.
Our next one's at 1.
Your open meetings. Stick
No,
around.
Our next meeting's at 1. Are you back?
Oh, I wish I could be.
I'm
Yeah,
just-
you won't see a lot of us, I promise.
We're actually doing palliative care for his father.
Yeah.
Who's 92, who's living in our home.
Wow,
He takes a lot of care.
Yeah.
So that's where,
that's
and
consuming
doing
time.
this.
Yeah.
Is.
Yeah.
Takes a
Okay.
bit.
Thanks for
Thank you,
coming
folks.
in.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
So from this committee, we could make a recommendation that it refer back to council for
Reconsideration.
reconsideration, and there has to be a 2/3 majority vote.
Oh.
And it-
Check out the rule of that.
Okay.
Usually, I'm not sure about the 2/3. but I'll find out. Okay.
So you'll give that recommendation then, Mary Ann, that
I
we
will.
refer back to council for another discussion. Okay. Thank you. So our next item is prior minutes, which were approved at a council meeting a year ago. Ongoing tasks carried forward. If we could have a quick review of that for this department. Want me to walk through them, or do you want to walk through them with an update, or?
I'm just bringing them up here on the
Okay,
screen.
thank you.
Some of these can come off, I think.
That's what I'm hoping we can do today. Yeah.
Well, yeah, what I did, so the memorial tree program's ongoing, casino mural ongoing,
Did you speak to them following our discussion?
not yet.
Okay.
The engineering consultant for arena work is ongoing.
Missed the mesh presentation.
Yeah, that, I'm gonna have to follow up with them on that, to see where we're at with that. So that was planned for the new council, but I'm not sure where it went with the departure of Emery, so I'll follow up with him. The memorial program for hanging baskets, we're working on, road sweeping, that's completed for the year. Whether that's gonna, that may come forward to purchase a machine to do that work ourselves in the capital budget as a possibility.
But it would still be the same process. We'd notify days in advance to so people can get the cars off
Yeah.
the street.
The difference would be is we would, I mean,
We-
if we have our own machine, we
Right.
know when the work was already
Right,
done. and
But
it
it's
would
just a
be-
matter of notifying to try and get
So-
as many
so-
people off the street.
So road sweeping and leaf pickup can both go because they were in November,
Yeah,
right? And they were just seasonal.
Yeah.
And hopefully,
Point Edward signs, so I think that's covered in Imran's report
okay,
about, the one is pretty much completed and he was to have quotes to us to repair some others within a few days of when that report was requested or completed, so that should be done soon. Signage on washrooms can come off.
there's no sign there yet, though.
There isn't?
Well, there's a sign saying it's closed, but the direction was to put a sign with the
real,
operating hours. So that it's closed from May 1st to October, or October 1st to May, whatever it is, November 1st to May 1st, so that people would know. And I think we also wanted, yeah, I think that's all we wanted, yeah.
just to notify when it reopens.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the close for the season, there was, we should say close to the season.
Reopening in
Yeah.
May or something.
Seasonal banners will be part of the budget process.
Okay.
I have a meeting set on Friday with the owner at JMS to talk about the issues on Mara Street and trucks, trying to get trucks redirected to the right locations, and then the brine application memo was sent out. So,
And we've had no use for it.
yeah.
That can come off then.
it's
Yeah, that can
been,
come up, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, we did talk about possibly redistributing it through constant contact ahead of a big storm, just as a
Right.
reminder. And so let's hope we don't have to
Yeah.
redistribute it. Okay, thank you. Marina Health and Safety is our next item. A lot of check marks in the wrong column. Those are all not applicable.
They actually did pretty good.
Very good. Yeah, okay. Any no questions then, Mary Ann?
No.
Okay. Public Works, Health and Safety, report.
Same thing.
Here's the same, no concern. So recommendation that they be received and filed.
Just a question, the
Yeah.
one that says more readable. Proper signs and instructions are available, and then the comment is more readable. I'm not really sure what that means.
It must,
You can't read what it says?
it's related to the eye wash station, so maybe it's either too
Maybe
small,
it's kind of.
faded, worn
Yeah,
out over
okay.
time.
So it's public work.
Public Works. You aren't familiar with that, are you?
It probably just needs a refresh sign or something. I think that's what that means. Maybe it's got wet. I'll figure it out. That was the only thing on there.
You'll follow from that too. New business, we have the Arena monthly report. Wait, Derek up to share with us all that's good and happened with the Arena. Congrats on getting through Silver Stick and Christmas.
Not true. It's got another weekend.
I know.
7 a.m. Friday. He looks forward to this every year.
That's right. Yeah, I have two reports. So the first one is for the month of November. On November 2nd, Ava Lucas, my daughter, took place in Take Our Kids to Work Day. It was an honor to have my daughter work by my side. Ava said it was a great learning experience and wanted to thank the Village of Point Edward for allowing her to spend the day at the arena working with her dad. While indoors, in on November 4th to repair the Olympia Room garage door to the ice surface. Both tension spring cables need to be replaced. Point Edward Minor Hockey's new Blackhawk logo has been installed on press box. Public skates on Sunday have seen a big increase in attendance. This increase has also resulted in a lot of individuals not following the rules. I cannot stress the need for skate patrol enough. It has become very difficult for the guy on shift to manage his regular duties at that time and monitor what is happening on the ice. On
Derek, where are we on that then? Is it-
no one.
What happened to the person?
So the first
Well,
person,
the first person couldn't skate.
yeah, and then the second person never showed up.
So can we make a recommendation that if we're about to hire someone for this position? Because in the past, Gavin Burgess was paid to do it. Paid him 2 hours. for the
Yeah,
time.
Paying them is not an issue,
Yeah,
it's
it wasn't the
finding a
issue.
person to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, both those people that were lined up to do it this year were offered to do it as well, to get volunteer hours.
The 40
I
hours.
think we were prepared to pay people. We haven't been able to find anybody yet, but we can advertise for it.
Wonderful.
See if we can
Can
find
we ask Pima to put it on their Facebook page? And
I've seen it on there.
Have
She
you?
already did
Yeah,
that.
she's put it out.
I know
Reached out.
Liz did put something out trying to get solicits.
I mean, maybe next year we can consider a different time for public skate. Maybe we have public, if I can get the Coyotes to switch their time to 1 o'clock and public skate goes at 2:30 when you have you guys on shift. There'll be another,
Yeah,
I can't do it now because
no,
I
it's
don't
already,
schedule is set. but
yeah.
That makes a lot of
It's
sense.
something
yeah.
I considered, I mean. For next season, if Coyotes are
Yeah.
willing to move. The other issue.
I don't, like it's Sunday. it's
I don't
an
think
hour
they would
and a half.
mind, like.
I don't
maybe
think it would
They have
make
the
a
ice from 1 to
difference.
2:30, we got public skate from 2:30 to
Yeah.
3:30.
Do you want it to go out now on the village,
Oh, it wouldn't
Through the
hurt, it
village?
wouldn't hurt to have something like. they
just
were
in
busy.
case, like if
But
somebody,
but that's a good solution. Yeah, and just move it to a time.
I meant the paid,
Yeah.
the paid spot.
I mean, I know over Christmas holidays, there was the 2 skates that we offered. to
Yeah.
Sponsor. On the one, it was great, because some guy showed up in his orange work coat. And it was like, it was just a random guy with his family, but he must have just got off work, still had his orange jacket
So you
on.
made him
And it was
responsible?
like the best skate we've had.
Well, you want me to
So-
show up in an orange coat
Sure.
next
I mean,
week?
if
So
that's all
can we
it
just
takes.
have an orange coat to give to
Yeah,
somebody?
yeah, give it, but you wear this, please. So,
There was a lot of people there last
oh,
night.
yeah.
There was a lot of people.
But it just, I've taken courses on how the impact a uniform can have on
The
student
optics.
behavior, right?
Yeah.
Just having a guy in a safety vest
Yeah.
skating around that rink
So,
changed the whole tone.
I mean, if we could get someone, because there's still probably 12 or 13 more public
Yeah.
skates.
What, do you know what would be advertised to pay? What would be,
We'll figure that.
yeah, figured out?
Yeah, and
Okay.
even the hours, I think, they kind of need to be there like 15 minutes before it
Yeah.
actually starts.
Yeah.
Get
But
people,
you want to pay them
Coming in
in
the door.
minimum 2 hours.
Yeah.
no, it'd be like an hour and a half.
No, but you'd want to pay them.
Yeah, two, just make it
to get them out of
worthwhile.
bed, Right?
Sure.
They don't have to be there, but pay a 2-hour honorarium.
And it'll almost be 2 hours by the time.
Yeah, getting there early.
Then they get their
getting
skates
everybody-
on.
And then they get everyone off the ice for us. I think we're getting ready to clean.
Yeah.
Okay. On November 21st, Ainsworth Technical was in to fix the repairs on 2 dressing room heaters. These were outstanding repairs from the previous reports. The Lady Auxiliary Club from the Royal Canadian Legion has made an inquiry. We're hosting a large-scale 4-day convention at the Arena and Community Hall in May of 2024. They're looking at other facilities as well. We hope to hear back from them in the near future. Classic Fire and Safety have been scheduled for early December to complete the sprinkler system repairs. These repairs are all deficiencies from the annual inspection in August. The Environmental Service Department will also be asked to assist as water to the building will need to be shut off for a period of time. Meeting was held with the fire department to discuss emergency procedures at the arena. The fire department has agreed to assist in scenario-based training in the new year. Items to be looked at include broken sprinkler heads, ammonia leaks, pull stations activated, fire alarms, etc. Work management, so 3 full-time employees, 1 seasonal. Employee training, there was no specific training assigned for that one. Facility activity, for the month of November, we were, primetime ice, we were 91% booked, and on non-primetime, 74. Some of the factors affecting the month of November's totals are playing over minor hockey teams are playing road games. Teams are also participating in tournaments out of town. We do have a new regular daytime user group on the non-primetime side. And both primetime and non-primetime booking percentages were slightly higher than the last month and previous year. Interior, general maintenance, cleaning continued daily. We are starting to see more issues with the rubber floor lifting in different areas of the arena. I believe these will need to be addressed next spring, summer, when the temperatures are warmer in the arena and adhesives will bond. Community Hall, Glenwood Optimist, continue to operate the Community Hall. Lampton Public Health continues to use Optimist Hall for vaccine and flu clinics. Currently, they're operating Tuesday, Thursdays, and some Fridays. Concession stand, Red Co. continue to operate the snack bar. The vending machines were officially removed from the snack bar on November 3rd by Canteen Food Vending Services. Jim Roberts was in on November 28th to look at the power supply to the 2 fryers in the snack bar. It was reported that neither fryer was working. The power supply was fine. The issue was a reset trip button on the back of the fryers. Inspections, monthly fire extinguisher AED inspections completed. Jute seat in for monthly testing of condenser water and calibration of chemical regulator. Exterior, nothing to report. In venue advertising, we have the Starlight Casino ongoing issue. All groups advertising the arena have been confirmed to TINA for billing purposes. Vehicles, equipment, dehumidifier filters have been replaced. Brine filter has been replaced November 14th. Blade on Olympia changed November 7th and 21st. Pickup truck has been used at the arena during winter months, still out of service. Customer satisfaction, lots of positive compliments as well on the cleanliness and overall appearance of the arena from many user groups and visiting teams. One particular group from Sarnia is very complimentary every time they're at the arena. Health and safety, monthly SOP reviews as assigned by health and safety coordinator completed. The report on security, capital budget. As noted in previous reports, there is a supply issue from the manufacturer of the clear monofilament netting. This project will need to be completed after the ice is removed next April. An updated quote was provided on November 7th. Hot water system upgrades are planned for 2023. Requests for quotes have been made to Black McDonald for an ammonia alarm system upgrades. Research Corporation for an Olympic quote, Edger quote, and or battery for Edger. And Interlink Telecommunications for additional cameras and hard drive upgrades. Closing comments. November was a busy month at the arena with lots of inspections, repairs, and maintenance. We saw lots of action on the ice with Point Edward Minor Hockey hosting many home games throughout the month. We also had lots of requests for ice over the holiday season. The holiday season is sure to be busy at the rink. Trinity Hall was also busy with lots of flu and vaccine clinics. Looking ahead to December, the ice schedule is very busy for the entire month. The Point Edward Minor Hockey Association will host their annual Spirit Day on December 10th. Point Edward Skating Club will also host Santa Claus on 3 occasions around Christmas time. The rink will be very busy with lots of casual runners using almost all available ice time. If you have any questions or concerns, please ask Teresa.
Thank you. That was November. Any questions?
The question I had was around potential booking by this Legion group.
Yeah.
What is that?
So it's like an annual convention they have. So literally, they explained it like Canadian wide, so all the different legions, they'll have meetings over the course of 4 days. There's a parade.
Okay.
So
And they do
just
that-
trying to get numbers for capacity, what we could hold
So in the arena.
in the arena and community hall.
And
So they would be set up with tables for meetings.
Okay. So that they'll get back to you at some
The lady says
Okay,
she's
I just
just
didn't know
doing
what-
preliminary.
what they do. Thank you.
So I just have one question. This might be more through Jim, is the status of the vending machine. So we got them out. Great. But should we be providing after hours vending service in the building, or are we doing okay? Do you guys get complaints of people saying? "I like a pop," or, "I like a-"
No, I think because Red and Co are open at the busy time,
Yeah.
it's been good.
Yeah.
But I think isn't the vending machine's not part of their
They have
contract now.
the right, as part of their contract, they have the right to go get it.
And they're aware of that and know that if they want to put them in.
I mean, it was part of the
Yeah.
deal. They should, I mean, I can have a discussion with them and remind them, but
Yeah, it might be worth about it to see what their long-term
But
plan
I
is.
kind of think that's why they wanted it in there. Such a-
I don't know. I mean, it was very clear in the RFP and in the contract that they have the right to put them there, but I will discuss it with them again and see if they, just to be,
Yeah.
make sure they're aware of it.
Yeah, it's that space is theirs
Yeah.
to populate with
Yeah.
vending machines, should they choose. Okay. Thank you. And then we'll head off to December.
Okay.
This will be our last report of that year.
It's the monthly report for December 2022. On December 1st, Blue Water Plumbing was in to replace a broken shower handle and faucet cartridge in dressing room number 4. Environmental Services was in on December 1st to test the main water shutoffs for the arena and community hall. This was in preparation for the scheduled sprinkler system repairs. On December 5th, Classic Fire and Life Safety were in to repair deficiencies from the August annual sprinkler system inspection. All repairs were completed in a very timely fashion with no disruption to any of our rental or user groups. Kevin Brown and I have completed the recertification exam for our certified ice technician for professional designation through the Ontario Recreation Facilities Association. This certificate will be good for another 5 years. Jim Roberts Power Control and on December 8th replaced the exhaust fan in the men's washroom in the snack bar area. This was an outstanding repair from previous report. On December 9th, a flat tire was noted on the daily inspection of the Olympia. It was determined to be a cracked rim. Special shout out to the public works guys for assisting in getting the tire and rim repaired before any loss of Reynolds. This is the second rim that has cracked in the past year. A solution has been found to help eliminate further issues. On December 10th was Spirit Day at the arena. This was an annual event put on by the Point Edward Minor Hockey Association. Every minor hockey team hosted a visiting team. The day was very well attended and was yet another very successful event hosted by Pima. Steve Baker, general manager of the Point Edward Pacers, was in on December 15th to discuss the upcoming season and their intentions of returning to the Point Edward Memorial Arena. The items discussed were training camp start date, blackout dates, home game dates, and start times. It was also noted that they need a new user agreement contract. I will meet with Jim Burns to set up the date in the near future. During the month of December, we hosted former local resident professional hockey player Eric Olson and a group of kids from Brazil who are learning the game of hockey. Eric runs a hockey academy in Brazil and decided to bring the kids to Canada to let them experience what hockey is like in his home country. The group skated 6 times at our facility and also utilized ice in Sarnia. I was told the kids went to Sarnia Sting games and the Detroit Red Wings games, as well as other dates. It was great to see the overall excitement and smiles on these kids' faces learning the game of hockey. On December 25th, there was a fire alarm at the community hall. The cause of the alarm was water from a broken pipe that had frozen in the electrical hot water tank room. Additional information in the community hall section. On December 31st, we had our first broken piece of drink glass. Plexiglass was temporarily installed and no remnants were lost. At this time last year, we had 3 broken pieces. Work management, 3 full-time, 1 seasonal. Employee training, all arena employees have completed the online CPR refresher course. All full-time arena employees have renewed their Ontario Recreation Facility Association memberships. For the facility activity, we were on the prime time 90% booked, and on the non-prime 80%. Factors that may be affecting the numbers for December are holiday closures, i.e. Boxing Day, Christmas, New Year's Eve, etc. Cancellations during the weather event on December 23rd, 24th, we had quite a few. Point Edward Skating Club does not utilize the ice between Christmas and New Year's. The interior, general maintenance cleaning, as always. Community Hall, Point Edward office, continue to operate Community Hall. Hampton Public Health continues to utilize the Optimus Hall for vaccine and flu class. In regards to the December 25th fire alarm, all repairs have been completed. Blue Water Plumbing has repaired the water line and turned the water back onto the community hall. The smoke heat sensor has been replaced by Century Fire and the alarm panel returned to normal operation. Jim Roberts Power Control has been in to inspect all electrical panels and power disconnects. Reading Cove running the snack bar, inspections, monthly fire AED, Jutesy in again to test the condenser water and calibration of the chemical regulator. Exterior major weather event on December 23rd and 24th. Special thank you to the public works guys for their timely response for snow removal and salting of the parking lot. In advertising, we have the Starlight Casino vehicles, dehumidifier filters have been replaced, brine filters replaced, and blade changes. Customer satisfaction, lots of positive compliments on the cleanliness and overall appearance of the arena during Spirit Day from the parents and visiting teams. Health and safety, monthly SOPs as assigned by Health and Safety Coordinator completed. Security, OPP have been in contact about setting up a time to discuss CPTED analysis sometime in January at the arena. CPTED stands for Crime Prevention Through Environmental Design. Capital budget, as noted in previous reports, there's a supply issue with the manufacturer of Thermont from netting. This will be completed in April. Hot water system upgrades are planned for 2023. Received a quote from Black and McDonald for a new ammonia alarm system upgrade. Still awaiting quotes from Reserve Corporation and Telecommunications. Closing comments, December concluded what was a very busy month in year at the arena. For the month of December, we saw the Point Edward Minor Athletic Association host a very successful Spirit Day and multiple hockey games. Windward Skating Club welcomed Santa Claus on several occasions and hosted a couple of family skates. Over the holiday season, we sold all non-prime time ice available as we welcome multiple user groups to our facility. Looking ahead to January, the ice schedule is very busy for the entire month. The arena will host 2 Silver Stick tournaments back-to-back weekends. The action starts on the first weekend of January with the 23rd annual Women's Silver Stick Tournament. The following weekend, January 13th to 15th, we will welcome the Boys North American Silver Stick Finals Tournament. It has been 3 years since the last Silver Stick tournaments were held. We look forward to hosting both tournaments once again. On the minor hockey side, the Windward Blackhawk teams will start the reseeded winter portion of their season. And Windward Skating Club will start the second half of their winter program. If you have any questions or concerns, I'm glad to serve.
Question, Mary Ann?
Sorry, I had one and now I didn't want to interrupt.
Sorry.
Well,
You go ahead.
work that out. It's a great idea getting the septet analysis. So you're gonna have them focus on lighting, where the cameras are located.
So they did it yesterday.
Oh, did they?
Actually,
They
yeah,
did
so
it
that
here.
would be in my January report. but
They did it here yesterday too.
Yeah, they had 3 recommendations.
Okay,
Cameras, addition spots that, yeah, more exterior, they did exterior, protective film on some glass on the outside and an alarm system on the whole building.
right.
Assume it was the same people. They were the auxiliary OPP and they came
Yeah.
here and did this.
I didn't think we got here.
You were in the office,
Oh,
your door was
okay.
shut, I think. And they came in and 2 young fellas, auxiliary, and Shelley took them downstairs and then they went all around the building.
So this was all set up, all facilities in the village were done. As there was like that $10,000 was set aside for security upgrades last year. But this was a good place to start. You know, we can go in and do that work and then see what recommendations they are. We can use some of that funding
I'll
to.
put the recommendations in. my January.
And some of them are pretty simple and not very expensive fixes, like protective film.
Yeah.
You don't think about it, but
No,
it prevents somebody from breaking in. The glass may get damaged, but they're
so
not getting.
he said it was a spider web, but he goes, it won't get through. They could
Yeah.
hit it with a baseball bat 10 times. It's not gonna go.
Yeah, so it prevents them getting any vandalizing or getting damage, and it's a simple piece of film.
And then they just had concerns about behind the arena on the bridge side,
Yeah.
where we've had issues.
Yeah.
I remember what my question is now. The glass, just help me with my memory. So we had the 3 glass break previously. Did you not change the glass supply? Or
No,
maybe that's
the
why it's
issue was
better?
with the pucks. So we've got
We
the
changed
memo,
the pucks.
we
That's
got
right,
the memo
sorry.
for the user groups. This was a casual renter
Yeah.
user group, so
Was that, who broke it? Somebody?
yeah, it was casual, not a regular, so.
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I
We
remember
did all
that
right.
as well.
But it shows the work with our other groups. They not only respected our request, but
Yes.
they've adhered to it, so.
It paid off.
What's a pane of glass worth? I mean, how much do they charge us?
Well, probably by the time you get it shipped here, it's probably like $600.
Yeah.
So
And then
that's
and then the labor to
$1,200.
put it
Labor to
in.
put it in, it takes 3 guys.
3 guys.
Abby, I mean,
$1,500 maybe saved.
Wonderful. Thanks, Derek.
The Public Works report, do you want me to go through it or?
I don't think so. I have a couple of questions and we can fire those off. I'll just go real quick, just so the transportation study is well underway. St. Clair reconstruction project is been presented. The questions I have are regarding the asset management. There's some really firm, strong deadlines in there. And do you have a plan on keeping that moving forward?
That's one of the things that Imran will be working on. Yeah.
As part of his consulting.
Yeah.
Okay. It makes we meet all those deadlines. Perfect. Yeah, I'm happy to see we haven't used brine yet, but at the same time, I was looking forward to using brine because we've spent a lot of money on it and but at the same time,
That's why.
we're having a
That's
lovely
why this
winter.
happened.
Yeah, and fingers are crossed. So the sign's been repaired for Venetian. I assume it won't be sold till spring.
Probably not.
I see Carnival McCray Park. Is there something in the capital budget about the backstop or is that Are we gonna-
I will follow up on that one. I know it was certainly talked about.
I'm happy to see that some of the electronics to support our winter road maintenance are installed and in use. Um, Shouldn't call them gadgets. It almost sounds like it's like a trinket. But no, I'm glad to see they're in place and I hope it's helping with the patrol.
While we do our road.
Patrolling is, like that's,
Yeah.
that's.
Yeah.
You know, it records that the work is actually being done.
Yes,
right?
yeah.
I shouldn't say that, it will
Electronic.
smell, and we will have to talk about it.
And then I plan to thank Imran for his time and maybe he's watching at home, but you know, I think he brought forward a lot of good changes to the village. He challenged assumptions. And we made some forward momentum with a number of items in this village. And he will be missed. We want to wish him all the best of luck back in Huron County and thank him for agreeing to be with us for the interim until we finish the recruiting. So I think he was here a short time, but made an impact throughout the whole organization. So,
I asked him if there was anything he wanted highlighted in his report, and it's actually not in the report, but something he wanted to mention was that we got a memo in the last week or two from Sifto salt, and the price for salt is going up 6.5% late January. So he felt that was something we should be considering in our operating, that cost for that invoice goes in our operating budget. And I think we've done $35,000 for the last several years. It's been a long time since we've increased it, but we also have a reserve set up. So just something he thought that we should be aware of.
So would we be, I don't know where the salt shed fits at this time, like where they're at. Maybe they could top it up before the price increase
Yeah.
comes through.
I mean,
I'm sure he's probably thought of it.
yeah, and like it might get emptied until 3 times between now. I hope it does.
Well, you said the end of January.
Right,
That's only weeks.
that's right.
No,
But I
no,
mean,
don't-
one big storm can
Oh,
empty
yeah,
that shed,
yeah.
right?
but we
So,
could put an order in, just top up
Yeah.
whatever we can.
yeah, I'm sure that'll be done. but,
Okay, I mean, I'm sure he probably thought of it, but, you know, got 2 or 3 weeks to get the order through.
And I'm not, like, I think when you order it, you have to take delivery of it. So if the
Yeah.
shed's full, we can't.
Yeah, I don't know where the shed's at. Usually they try and put it away for the season full
Yeah,
for the next year.
okay, so the recommendation is to receive and file the 3 monthly reports submitted. Thank you to Imran and Derek for those.
Thank you, Derek.
Next item under new business number 4 is the Rotary Club of Sarnia. They requested a little library. I thought ours was already little.
Not compared to some.
And so the recommendation from staff is that we let them determine the location for the installation of the library in the vicinity of the fish hatchery. I'm just curious, is there a reason why that location was chosen?
that's what they've requested,
Okay.
like that, I think.
People walking.
Yeah, and I think with people being down there with the splash pad, playground equipment, it's a busy spot that they felt like it's interesting. I mean, they don't go into their reasoning a lot.
Yeah.
I assume that's what they're thinking. They did mention it being a busy
Yeah.
spot.
And it's also good too, a lot of people sit along the benches there, so they can grab a book, go sit and read, and, 'cause-
And there's already one down, if there's already one at the animal farm, so it's not that
Yeah,
far away
yeah.
from the path. So you could come to your next spot.
so, we're gonna make this recommendation to the council, staff will come back.
Yeah, well, if this gets approved, then if it's approved at council, then staff and the Rotary Club work together and get it done.
Right.
Probably we consult with the guys at the fish hatchery too. I mean, depending on what kind of setup they want, what kind of setup the Rotary Club, if they want to mount it on a pole, I don't know exactly what they want. But if they want to use something right at the fish hatchery, we would involve those guys as well. Just to-
You know, would be a possibly good location is in the gazebo that's there already.
yeah.
Mounted to it, because then you don't have to worry about digging a hole down there, which we know is an issue, and pouring a
To the
cement
backside. of it.
foundation on the backside or side, because there's
I think
this
there's
4x4 post and mount it right on there, and then somebody could sit in the gazebo and read.
So you also would be nice, like the soccer, there's a lot of kids down there when soccer season starts. That's a really good location to get at those kids.
Okay. So that's the recommendation. We'll now do the Boulevard tree planting policy that Imran submitted to us. And do you have any recommendations or changes or suggestions for
Or,
the tree planting policy?
well, um, no, I don't. no, sorry. Other than we were going to remove the reference to Simpkins and call it a nursery, in case we ever deal with,
Like either call it an accredited nursery or some nursery. But
just, I mean, someday it might not be, they might not be our supplier, so it's always better to be generic.
And the only thing I noted, and we talked about this at the meeting, was, and I think everyone was in agreement that in our tree planting policy, a replacement tree would take priority over a new tree. So if it was an empty, if there's never been a tree in a boulevard, would be a lower priority than where we just chop somebody's tree down and replacing it. So I think that, if that can be in the opening
Yeah,
paragraphs,
that's reasonable.
you know, trees usually pay the falls, blah, blah, blah. Trees are purchased in line with the village, and then say a replacement of a diseased or removed tree takes priority over
Right.
new trees.
No, that makes sense to me.
Okay, and then so the recommendation for that is that policy be adopted for use in the Boulevard Tree Planting Program with the
Revisions.
revisions made by myself and Mayor Hand. Oh, yeah, it's already in there. I could barely hear you typing over there. She's already updated eScribe. I'm trying to, see what do we have there before? It's all. Okay. Any other new business, Mayor Hand, for operations?
No.
Okay. Heading to statements.
Comment, it says to year end, but everything isn't in yet. So Tina's continuing to process final bills towards finalizing the 2022 financials.
So I know in the Arena monthly statement, they are favorable by $66,000, which is probably now, will that disappear as final invoicing comes in, or should we be doing a pat on the back for coming in favorable?
Yeah, I would wait.
Just to be safe.
But it is nice to see that.
Yeah.
with
It's
that-
better than being the other way. for
Yeah,
sure.
and that's about a 10%
It's
positive
something to get
variance,
excited about.
which is good, so. Okay, thank you. Yeah, there must be more coming, because Public Works is 350,000 positive, so.
And it's like Arena, there's nothing here for water, hydro, heat, which are monthly expense. Like there's nothing there for December.
Last time I was there, the lights were off and the toilets were flush, so I think it makes sense.
There's
It's too early.
there's invoices coming, I know. There could be some revenues too,
Yep.
potentially.
Yeah, it's not
I don't
all,
think anything was added for Ice Reynolds.
No.
For December.
There's no revenues anywhere.
there's still people coming in to pay, so there's still money coming in.
It's a very fluid number.
Okay, so the recommendation is to receive and file those reports. And our next meeting date will be
February 14th.
Valentine's Day.
Oh.
We'll spend it together.
I'll get red muffins. What do you call those red ones?
All the,
Red velvet.
yeah. Okay, and then this meeting is adjourned.